Hi, good days for you. My name is Vito. My name is Vito Atmo, but you can call me Badrika Evandito Atmo Mintarso for my full name, or Vito Atmo for short. Currently, I'm an MBA candidate in Institut Teknologi Bandung for a strategic marketing, and now I want to share my learning as a game theory lens, a strategic competition in Indonesian edutech. So today, I will walk you through a game theory analysis of strategic competition, focusing on review and my skill as my part learning program. A little introducing from me. Previously, I worked as a digital marketer and I craft AI agent instructor for AI deliverables to give more personalization in class. And I also an instructor at Revoyu as my part-time and my contribution to society, where I can share my experience in technology, marketing, and educational. And now currently I'm as a digital strategist and an MBA candidate. So all this of my background encourage me to sharing my knowledge and my expertise how these firms can works and compete in simulation. Okay, for one, why it's matter. Revoyu and my skill. This is conflict started around this era where Indonesian edutech market is projected to exceed by 2 billion in this 2025 according to Statista and Google Economy. With rising demand for digital upskilling, firms like Revoyu and MySkill represent two opposing strategies. Revoyu deliver premium live mentoring. Meanwhile, MySkill delivers affordable self-paced learning. Understanding their move isn't just academic. It's a shape the future of Indonesia digital talent. Why oligopoly? This market is an oligopoly where two or three dominant players with high barriers to entry and have strategic interdependence. Now let's see it for the tables. Revenue charts between 7 and up to 15 million rupiah per digital program with live mentoring and job placement. And my skill, in contrast, it offers a modular courses. It starts from 500 rupiah up to 1 million. It gives a self-paced video where students can learn in their pace and making it widely accessible to Gen Z. Now we talk about the strategic choices. From this, Revoyu and MySkill compete in the growing edutech market. So each one must choose lower the price to win the consumer or improve the value. Each firm now faces choices. Revoyu can either cut their prices to compete directly or double down on its premium, which Carrefour's offering. Meanwhile, MySkill can stay low cost or raise its value through added service. So Either FOU adjust their price to compete my skill, or my skill giving added value from its service before to compete FOU. The choices of one clearly affect the others. Now let's move to the next part. For this part, we'll learn about payoff metrics. Payoff metrics is like a probability, how we win or lose if our competitors do this or do that. To simplify this, we focus on my skill and Revoyu actions. Revoyu can price down its price or stay premium. Meanwhile, my skill also can do price cut or improve its value. For these 2 by 2 payoff metrics, we can see all the possible move. If both cut prices, they reduce the margin, ending up at probability 3 per 3. Yeah, this is kind of win-win solution, but not the maximum one or the highest score one. We can see the other possibilities there. If Revoyu stays on premium services, like for its life mentoring, guarantee job seeking. Meanwhile, my skill can offer a more cheapest service or bundles for the self-paced courses. Revenue will be suffer, giving score like 2 per 5, give advantage to my skill. Now, if Revoyu price the cut for the course or for the programs, meanwhile my skill try to improve its value, adding more value for the products itself. For example, like more community driven for my skill, or job guarantee, like my skill want to adapt from Revoyus. Revoyus still won because Revoyus still have this premium strategies, but Revoyu offers us discounted price. The students still prefer choose Revoyu. But if both improve value, they land at 4 per 4, a stable and balanced outcome. We can identify this 40 per 40 as the Nash equilibrium. Why? Because neither firm can improve its outcome by changing strategy unilaterally. Both firms gain without triggering a price war, market growth with quality, not a discount, strategy and differentiation, no cascading. Everyone wins. This choice reflects mutual benefit, avoid a price war, and support sustainable competition. So, why is Nash and Pareto optimal? Beyond being stable, this equilibrium is also Pareto optimal. No firm can be better off without hurting the other. It rewards differentiation, not discounting. This insight encourages edutech firms to compete on outcome, not just affordability. No player can improve, explain dominant strategy logic, market health better without price war, add a visual arrow to show definition penalties. Now, for FOU, I recommend to continue signaling ROI through alumni success. introduce trial modules to attract price sensitive users. And for the last, avoid direct price matching, but offers bundle flexibility to match learner needs. Other side, this is a strategy I can give for my skill. My skill can rise its value without losing its price edge by offering verified micro credentials. Like if you success this, you can share the certificate with a badge in LinkedIn format, like Coursera did. It is a micro credential. For second one, adding optional career mentoring. Maybe after they can complete the course with asynchronous, they have a facility to share with the communities or one mentor program to review his or her learning path or learning journey, to evaluate the process, to make sure that the students or the participants or the user have the knowledge of the course is choice. And the last one, partnering with employee to bridge the job outcome gap. To conclude, for this case, sustainable advantage in edutech comes not from being the cheapest, but from being the hardest to replace. In this game theory reminds us when firms compete smart, everyone wins. That's all from me. If you want to see what I share, you can visit my personal website in vitoatmo.com. Thank you.